Okay, we're ready to go then. Okay, all right. Well, officially, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning. Hey, Tony. Go ahead and get started. March 19th, our GIS meeting will call to order. Do we have any citizen public comment? Doesn't look like anyone is in the room, so we'll move right along. Our next business is the approval of the January 15th minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look at those? Or can we get a motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
All right, thanks, Will. We've got a second by Jason. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, or speak now if you're an A. Thank you, everybody. Okay, fantastic. I think we're gonna move right along to our SWIG updates. I'll turn it over to you, Lindsay.
Thank you. I will share my screen. Okay. So for the SWIG update, we just wanted to remind everybody that the 2026 Esri User Conference in San Diego is coming up in July 13th through the 17th. The county has 10 complimentary in-person registrations. We still have 6 available. And then there's also free digital registrations for those that can't attend in person. As a group, we decided to move up the date that we will open up these complimentary licenses or the complimentary registrations to our partner agencies to the beginning of April. That way they have a bit more time to find hotels and set up their travel
Lindsay,
plans.
do we usually end up using all of the complimentary passes?
No.
We don't. Okay.
I don't think they've ever been all 10 used.
Okay.
Okay, so Bart says, I guess, that maybe one time in the past all 10 have been used.
Okay.
I think last year there were 2 of us that went. So right now we have 4 set to go. And we have 1 person interested from a partner agency. So
Okay. Any pitch on the value of the conference? I know you always give an update when you come back, but just to get people excited if their divisions or agencies can afford it.
yeah, so my pitch would be, I mean, Esri is the software, that we use. This is the largest GIS conference in the world. It's their international conference. They usually have over 20,000 attendees from all over the world. They definitely offer more in-depth classes in person than they do digitally. But this is your opportunity to rub elbows with people from all over the world that do what we do, and to see how they're doing things, and to talk with other subject matter experts. They also have a very large vendor area, so you can meet with different vendors and find out what other new technologies are coming that might be helpful with what we're doing in our offices. I mean, the value is great. You'll go and you're going to learn so much and come back with all these ideas of what it is that you can do for your department that can make things better, and you'll be able to get a lot of ideas. And
one other question, I mean, obviously I'm sure it's geared in a very technical sense, but do you feel like less technical people also could benefit just from understanding, the presentation of how, GIS is used in so many applications?
Yes, absolutely. So they have, the technical side of the classes vary from, those that are just starting out or managers to programmers. And so there's something for everyone, but it would definitely be beneficial for others to be able to go to see as well how else it is being used elsewhere, and talk to others and see how they're doing things and get those ideas. So it's very beneficial.
Strong nods over here. So awesome. Okay.
Good.
Thanks for diving into that. We hear it every year, but I'm sure there are lots of folks out there that maybe think, I don't know if this is for me, but I imagine, GIS is for everybody because it's storytelling with data, with geographical data. So thank you for that. That's super helpful. And hopefully people will think about going, especially with all of those complimentary registrations.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm definitely encouraged by the increase of people wanting to go this year. That's awesome. and it'll be really good for us as a county. On February 11th, we held our third GIS user group. We had 70 people attend. Our presentations included Parcel Fabric from the Recorder's Office. Matt Borden showed us authoritative content and data, and Samantha Kite showed her project and her work on priority redevelopment sites. It was a great meeting. It was awesome to see the variety of work that's happening out there in the different departments and to be able to have these conversations with each other. Our next meeting is scheduled for May 13th at 10:30, and we are setting up our presenters right now. And then also on February 20th, we had a Salt Lake County and Esri Tech Talk. Our training representatives from Esri have agreed to come in quarterly and hold these free trainings. For anyone that's interested, it's not just limited to those that use the software that have a license. Anybody can attend. We had a request for them to come in and talk about AI and GIS. And so the representatives came in and talked about GeoAI. They have developed 111 deep learning packages that are available that we can use. They have been implementing AI assistants in the different softwares. And then they talked about the different courses and seminars that they have available to us through the Esri Academy. A lot of these are free. I've done a lot of them over the years. There's some very valuable ones out there. They sent us a lot of information that I forwarded it out to those that attended so that they can have information to follow up on if they want. And then lastly, Brandon Algeier wasn't here today. He's out of town, so he asked me to give an update on the ELA. The way that it's happened in the past is that he gets the quote and makes sure it's paid, and then STWIG handles the licensing. So as a group, STWIG has been working on needs assessments for our departments and offices, and we are using those to get a grip on how these licenses are being used across the county, so that in our discussions with this renewal with Esri, that we can know what it is what we need and what we need moving forward. So Brandon has requested a soft quote from Esri for what the next ELA might look like so that we can have an idea, and then we plan to have this quote ready by June or July to pass on to TAB. And that's our update for today.
Great, fantastic. Any questions for Lindsay? As always, thank you for your leadership and everyone who participates in STWIG. We know that's where the majority of the work happens, so really appreciate it. All right, let's move on to Maps on the Hill.
That'll be me. I went to Maps on the Hill with the surveyor's office, and I'm just supposed to be talking about my experience there. Here's an image that was taken, I believe, by UGRC of Maps on the Hill. Anyway, what is Maps on the Hill? Maps on the Hill is an annual event that students and professionals share maps, mapping tools, and projects with elected officials and just fellow GIS users, as well as the public. You can present hard copy maps, so like giant posters, or even just interactive digital maps. From what I understand, the focus of the event was to show off cool maps, but also to have engaging conversations with people who like maps. Here's a couple images that I have found off the UGRC website, as well as what the surveyor's office took pictures of. And then what I actually presented there was this map that I made when I first started here at the county. I was working with the U.S. Forest Service as well as my office to create a trails map for the FLAT project for the Upper Mill Creek Canyon construction project. And so this is the map that I presented. It's a trails map. It shows where the wilderness area is, where the red is where it's closed off, as well as different trailheads and different trail names, as well as where else you could enter the Mill Creek Canyon, either from Big Conwa Canyon or even from Park City. And so that's what I presented, but it was nice to leave my table and to go look at other people's tables and just engage in conversations with everyone. As I mentioned, this was one of my first projects that I worked on at the county. And I wanted to present this map because I felt like it showed like my best skills of cartography, because I know a lot of GIS analysts, you do more of the analyst work, but it's really fun to show off what you can do to make cool maps, honestly. But my experience here was registration was super easy to fill out. It was very clear of what it was expecting of me. However, I was unprepared for myself as in representing my office. I didn't think about bringing a little like sheet to go over the table that says Office of Regional Development, or have like a giant poster for the map, because I ended up displaying my map on my computer screen. So for myself, I felt like I could have done more to really just like show off who I represent. However, the whole experience of being there was really inviting, really fun. It was nice to meet up with people in the field that I've met before. And it was also really nice talking with legislators that were actually interested in knowing what I was working on and doing. So that was also very enjoyable. And then this is the picture of some of the attendees from the surveyor's office, as well as me. I think we're missing one person, but it was a nice experience. And then they did provide a lunch, so that was nice. And to summarize, I would do it again, but I hope more people from the county would display with us, because actually it was a pretty enjoyable experience. And that's it.
That's awesome. Great photo.
Thank you. It was their photo.
And very, very cool map. Are there any questions about maps on the Hill? Okay. All right. Anything? Yeah. Oh, thanks, Melody.
I had a little presentation just a status update on the GIS data migration. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Okay.
That's okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I thought we'd made it through all of those topics, so thanks for reminding me to circle back. Yeah, we'll turn it over to you, Brendan. And apologies for that.
No sweat. No worries. Okay. So, there we go. All right. So, we've upgraded our back end. This is to prepare us with the ARC map to ARC Pro. How we're turning off ARC app. Yeah. We're doing server upgrades. So through that and through our security, we had to do some changes to the back end as we had to scale for the future. So I wanted to give you just a little status update on that. So we've gone through our list of customers and their databases, and we have migrated 11 of the 12 databases. So all our customers have been moved over into the new system. And we've only got one left, which is the SLCO Pub. And through that, we've migrated 615 services. We still have 3 that we're testing through. Part of it's like the geocoder with multiple address maps working on. And we were able to turn off 20 services that we no longer need through this upgrade. And there's still 10 that we have not migrated yet, and those are all related to the SLCO Pub. So these are the list of remaining services still left to migrate. And we're also in the works of upgrading our portal, so that's not quite done yet. So as soon as that's done, we will finish the migration of the SLCO Pub, but we had to kind of do some back and forth between the two systems, since SLCO Pubs kind of like 5 different departments contribute to that. So we can't just like move it. We got to make sure those services migrate over. I can go over any questions and stuff like that on that process if people want, but that is our status update.
Yeah, I know this has been a really heavy lift, so great work. Where are we with overall timeline? Do you have a sense of when we hope the project's fully completed?
Okay, my mic's still on, right? Yeah. Yeah, we are a little behind. We were supposed to have that done in February, so I'm kind of hoping by the end of this month.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Hey. It's always a heavier lift than we expect getting into these systems, and I mean touching so many pieces of the county. So
I mean, this is, we have all the ETL processes and stuff, right? Like all the stuff that's registered in these different environments. So it's just kind of like those little aspects of it kind of hang up. So
yeah, huge. Any question from customers or comments from others participating? No. Okay. Thanks for leading out on that project and for the status update. And then, Samantha, thank you for that Maps on the Hill update and for representing Salt Lake County so well. Did the surveyor's office want to add anything to the Maps on the Hill conversation since you were up there too?
Sure. So we had a table as well, and my whole team was able to go and attend the event, which was great. It was a first time for a lot of them as well. They enjoyed. It was nice to be able to bring our work, to contribute to this event. I'm also on the UJIC board who helps organize this event, and this is the largest one, the largest event that UJIC has had. There were 155 people signed up to present at the event, and we had more requests for tables than we had space. And so it was a great year to show up and to represent the county and show what it is that we are working on. And I agree with Samantha, it would be great to have more people participate next year, even if we share tables. We did. We were stationed next to each other, and so that was nice to be able to do it all together. So
that's awesome. We should call for like a friendly internal competition or something next year. Get everybody going.
Yeah, Brendan brought that up, that we should have a competition for creating a new base map to use.
I love it.
Internally. So
that's great. Are you wanting to chime in, Will?
Yeah, I just had a suggestion. Maybe next year we should let our elected officials know, send them an invitation. I know many of them were there that same day in time for UAC Day on the Hill. But I don't think folks knew to migrate over from the building we were in to go see that. So I think just making our elected officials aware of that would be a great idea. And maybe we'll have a little better attendance from Salt Lake County next time.
Okay, great. No, I appreciate that, and we can definitely do that next year. And it was awesome to all happen to be there on the same day, but we will definitely communicate that better next year.
Yeah, that's fortuitous, but that's a great suggestion. We'll make it intentionally next year, try and get everybody loves maps. I mean, whether you work in them or not. So, okay, great. We'll note that for next year. Okay, well, we are moving right along. Is Robin online for the GIS Spotlight? Okay, fantastic. We'll turn it over to you, Robin.
Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm going to share my screen here. So I am the division administrator for the GIS cadastral team in the recorder's office. I'm going to be talking a little bit about our development of our GIS migration from ArcMap to ArcPro and Parcel Fabric. I did do a little bit of this in the GIS user group last month, but I've changed some slides, guys. It's not exactly the same. So if you want to check out, you can, but you might miss something amazing. Probably not, but I have changed some things. So our development team for this consisted of our GIS analyst, Wiley Bogren, who facilitated all the back-end programming and data migration. And then Doug Gifford, who is the assistant division administrator for GIS cadastral team, who helped with developing a training manual with workflows and processes for the mapping team to use, as well as doing all of the training. And then me, who developed a strategy and organization that allowed us to make the decisions to be made. So a little bit about the GIS scope in the recorder's office. We have 12 to 15 users in the GIS cadastral department, making us one of the largest users of GIS in the county. We track and maintain almost 400,000 parcels in the county. We take the meets and bounds legal descriptions from the recorded documents and turn them into line features in the GIS, which is approximately 1.8 million lines. And then, of course, we take the GIS parcel data and sync it up to Darwin and mainframes so that they can move along the county tax system to the other county tax offices. So the ignition and fuel for all of this, we knew Esri had the end of support deadline, which was 19 days ago. So we took the opportunity to modernize the way the recorders use the GIS for parcel data. Not only did we migrate to ArcGIS Pro, but we added Parcel Fabric, which incorporates parcel lineage and can be linked to the legal records. So our goal was to train 12 mappers as a group to stay consistent and keep things simple. And we were successful due to our approach. So a little bit of background for setting the foundation for this. Wiley Bogren, our GIS analyst, had a lot of work to do, and he spent over 6 years building the foundation. We were dealing with over 10 years of legacy data, like lines, points, related tables, all sitting in outdated desktop software and formats with some corruption and cleanup that was needed. He migrated everything into modern databases, designed a Parcel Fabric to support the data, including future workflows, and then verified that all of it carried over correctly. And then from there, he automated the process so migrations were now fast, repeatable, and reliable. And 1.8 million lines later, the result was around 800 lines of code, combining Esri tools with custom solutions. We can now run repeatable migrations in under 24 hours with minimal downtime. And we've built a Parcel Fabric that supports our current data with room for future improvements. So a little bit about the development strategy. We knew that Esri had that deadline. We needed to figure out how we were going to get our team trained. We have timing issues in the recorder's office. We have statutory deadlines and other workload demands. So we had to time the migration and the training for after rollover, and then with enough time for the development team to go through processes, and then training the team, and then enough time after the training, but before the next rollover to address any issues that we ran into. So we decided that we would do a mandatory in-person training that was 2 weeks. And we scheduled that for the beginning of June of 2025. So some of the obstacles that we had, some of the mappers were unfamiliar with ArcPro and Parcel Fabric. We were still on ArcMap. We were still using a line layer that was converted into polygons kind of behind the scenes. So we didn't really work with polygons at all. So to prepare all of the mappers as much as we could before the in-person training, we went to Esri's website and found some introductory ArcPro and Parcel Fabric online classes that we could send out to everybody to take. And then me and Doug held 3 pre-ArcPro and Parcel Fabric trainings on WebEx that we recorded. Those kind of went over navigation tools, what was our project was going to look like, and then the Traverse tool, which is the main way that we put the meets and bounds legal descriptions into the GIS. So we wanted everyone to be as prepared as possible so that our in-person training, we could just focus on editing the Parcel Fabric. And then since we had the recordings for those trainings, we can now use those for onboarding for new mappers. And then now that we had that training plan, we could set some mini deadlines. We had the reckoning that we could gauge our progress so far. what workflows have we tested, what tools have we vetted, and come up with kind of an SOP for parcel splits and subdivision plats and other scenarios that we run into. And then we could kind of have an semblance for a training manual. And then we had our come to GIS. It was about 8 weeks before the scheduled team training. So that was kind of like our point of no return. Can we move ahead with training in 8 weeks, or are we going to have to delay it? But because of our planning and proactive measures, we were comfortable and we moved forward with everything. Other things that we had to consider were the cutoff date for ArcMap. We treated it as a mini rollover to make sure that all of our work was up to date as possible, so that the final production from ArcMap could be as updated and up to date as possible. And then Wiley fed that into ArcPro and Parcel Fabric. And then we went live with ArcPro and Parcel Fabric in July of 2025. So we're about 8 months in. This set us up for opportunities to modernize some aspects of our GIS. We improved our ArcGIS Pro project, formerly known as the MXD, with better navigation and standardized symbology, so everyone's working consistently, which made things easier for training and set the team up for success. We created multiple design line layers, which was based on the sketch layer and, believe it or not, some elements from ArcInfo. That is how old I am. But this way we could have a staging area to reduce the time that we were performing live edits. We also have, 8 different design line layers, so we can bring in, different legal descriptions that are adjacent to each other in different colors, and we can compare and contrast. It's been working really good. And then versioning, they kind of changed things up in ArcPro and left a lot of it into the hands of the editors, so we had to do some training on that. We were able to update and enhance workflows and focus on improved processes. One of those being our new subdivision numbering system. So we implemented a new way to number subdivision lots, which allows us to use the sequential numbering tool in ArcPro. We figure it saves us up to 30 minutes per subdivision in the GIS compared to how we used to do it with annotations and everything. And that includes quality control and checking. It makes it easier to check, while also improving overall accuracy and streamlining processes. And this led us to other optimizations. We now have dashboards for error reports, allowing for continued comparison checks between GIS, Darwin, and mainframe data. We're continuing improvements for refining workflows and finding better solutions through creating a GIS user group here in the recorder's office, as well as a lead position that runs those meetings for continued improvements and different ways to do things. We had the in-house advantage of development and training. Since we know our own processes best, we could adapt the workflows to our specific needs, which saved us money by not having to hire out for contractors. And then we discontinued the Sidwell, which was our third-party extension of Esri. We found alternate in-house solutions for the 2 main elements we used Sidwell for, and that was the next highest parcel number generator, which Recorder IT helped us develop, and then our tax map replacement, or the ITM, with an interactive web map. So our ITM is the replacement for the static PDF tax maps that we used to have. We went through and researched different counties in Utah and how they displayed their parcel data. And we cherry picked our favorite parts. And then we contacted Mark Miller in County IT for a partnership to create a web map. Some of the highlights of the ITM are the parcels are updated on a nightly basis. We have a clean base map with an ownership pop-up that's docked in the corner and has the tax descriptions connected to it. And then it links to our land records. And it's a potential base map for all the other tax offices. Mapzilla, kind of a vision for future GIS use. It's kind of a vision of one-stop shopping, a single source of truth, centralized GIS tool. Imagine a taxpayer going into the county website, and on one map, they can find all their property tax information linked through this one map. So in all of this, we embrace change. Things we considered, should we continue to do the same processes in ArcPro that we did in ArcMap, or should we modernize with Esri's latest software? We had a growth mindset to leverage change for new efficient technology as opposed to comfort of the previous way of doing things. And it prepared us to be able to handle other big changes. What other big changes can we succeed at? I know one, this big change. And look at how amazing it looks on our ITM. So
I wanted to hire the recorder's office to establish all of our taglines and all of our marketing for this change management project. If we can talk later, Robin.
Of course, I love that. No, so yeah, we handled this huge change in the recorder's office. We had an amazing team that embraced the change with us. And, you know, if, yeah, we can embrace this change, we can definitely do this big change coming up, right? So I just want to leave you with this. What can we do with our county tax partners to make the best product for use by the public and partners in the industry concerning the GIS? It's a powerful tool, right? And then I'd like to throw out a thank you to my team for all the flexibility and open-mindedness and patience that they had through this. It was a heavy lift and there was a lot to do. And I also want to do a shout out to my leadership here in the recorder's office, because without their support, there's no way this could have gotten done as efficiently as it had. So we'd like to thank everyone in County IT that helped us with the ITM as well. Is there any questions?
I know you got a bunch of comments on the taglines. Our auditor, Chris, is also making note of that. This is a fantastic presentation. Who knew that a parcel fabric project could be so engaging and interesting and fantastic work? Are there specific questions for Robin? Esri should definitely pay your way to go and present this at their conference.
Thank you. We will be presenting at UGIC, me and my team down in Kanab. I believe it's in May. Lindsay, correct me if I'm wrong. So hopefully we're still working on our abstracts and stuff. So hopefully, and then maybe even the user conference next summer. We'd love to do that.
That's awesome. Not only, great information about the project itself, but how to orchestrate a change management lift. So really fantastic. Thank you for sharing this with the group today.
Of course. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Melody?
We had one comment. Teddy wanted a moment to just speak again about ArcMap retirement.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I'm sorry. That STWIG update box, I just thought Lindsay had all of that. So I'm sorry. Let's circle back, Teddy. Apologies to you too.
No worries. I also missed it in the agenda. So,
Okay.
so this is just a quick put together with information I shared with the STWIG yesterday. We did our soft retirement at the beginning of the month. And we do have a hard cutoff for the software on April 8th, which is 3 weeks from yesterday. We only have 14 users still using the software, 4 of which have very minimal usage, under an hour. the other, another four of which are the addressing department, who has a migration planned next week. And then these other folks on this kind of higher usage column are aware that the software is being turned off. So if anyone has any questions, please reach out, or concerns. We're happy to put you in contact either, you know, with us about how we can help migrate users to the pro software, and even with Esri with training resources, if there are processes that you're worried about getting functioning in pro. So yeah, that was everything.
Okay, thanks, Teddy. Are there any questions for Teddy? Thanks for all your work there as well. Okay, well, we had a relatively light agenda today. Did I miss anything else, Melody? Thank you for keeping me honest.
No, you're great.
Okay, all right. We made it through everything else. It's really exciting, everything that the county's doing in GIS. Does anyone else want to bring anything forward? Anyone online? Okay. Our next meeting is May 21st, and I think with that, motion to adjourn. Okay, all right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Have a great
you.
rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.